Today we're talking 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Welcome to Screens in Focus, the podcast where we talk about TV and movies. I'm Diana. Sam is here. Hi, Sam. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm so excited that we get to talk about this franchise again. We've talked about 28 days later, 28 weeks later, 28 years later, and here we are with Bone Temple, the second of the latest trilogy. So looking forward to the final one. But I would love to get your initial reaction to this film because I have no idea how you feel about it.
It was mixed, honestly. I enjoyed it. A certain scene happens, and then I was reevaluating everything. And then it picked up, and I forgot about that scene. And then I genuinely really enjoyed this movie. I thought I found myself thinking about it like on the drive home. And I don't really typically think like that, but that I'm just not a big fan of body horror. And the part scene was super rough and very shocking to me. I didn't get any hint that the Jimmies were violent, like at all in the first movie. Like, yeah, they're violent against the infected, but I didn't think
Right.
like against other humans. But I really did like it in the end, though.
So I totally get what you're saying. I really like this film more than I thought I would. It had me thinking so beyond the credits, and I love when movies do that. That means it's really speaking to me. There's something about it that really has stuck with me. And yes, super gruesome, which I didn't like either, but it also had these moments of beauty, which not a lot of movies have that. Not even movies that do not have the that gruesomeness to it. So I can't wait to dig a little deeper with you. But I want us to start off with our rapid fire. I know a lot of times we do that at the end, but I want to start off with our rapid fire at the beginning to get us pumped up and thinking about things. So I'm going to ask three questions, and you give me your immediate reaction, and then I will share mine also. All right. Which character or moment stood out emotionally?
I want to go with Kelly. I think because she is part of the Jimmies, and you think she's been there for a long time. Her scars are healed over, and she's definitely done like a lot of things while being in like this gang. But I think she's able to hold on to some part of her humanity, and I think Spike just that come like more to the forefront. And I was shocked that she was like willing to help him and stand up to Jimmy, like lie to
Yeah.
Jimmy too.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm going to say Samson because from a person that I feared in the first movie to moments that I found to be so emotional with him, it just really struck me. And that is what really stayed with me after watching this. Okay, what surprised you the most?
I guess how violent the world has gotten. Um, Although I guess I really shouldn't be because the soldiers in the first movie were already assaulting women by like week six or something.
Yeah.
Um, but I also was shocked that it hasn't gotten that we're still quarantined. I think that was another like a shocking thing for me is that they've been able to maintain like because people are dumb and curious.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think for me was Jim because I'm like, oh yeah, this is happening. So that was the most surprising to me. Very pleasant surprise. The other surprise for me was that they even talked about a cure or
Mhm.
that even went that way because I think we're so used to The Walking Dead and is there a cure? How did this happen? Where are they going? That's like nowhere in sight. So the fact that there could be some cure, I'm using that word loosely, is just, I thought that was very surprising. All right. What was the most unsettling moment?
Just charity. Charity was the most unsettling thing for me. The barn scene. I don't have words, which
Yeah.
is unusual
Yeah.
for me. Yeah, I just couldn't. But we like pan out to they stab the guy once, and then you pan out, and then there's like gut stuff on the floor. Oh,
Yeah. I would say the most unsettling moment is also that human torture scene. The fact that people could do that to other human beings that are not coming at them or anything like that, just because that's what they think they can do to other humans, is just crazy. Along with that goes the idea that someone in control can have that power on you. That is so unsettling. Oh, wow. It's
That
just crazy to think.
and I think it's bonkers too, because I'm very curious how the Jimmies came upon like the family, because I don't know. I just wanted to see how that kind of went down, to see like how they could like take over, like how did they manipulate getting in there? And also, what was the point of all of that? Just to be cruel? Like you weren't intending on keeping any of them. I guess
Right.
you want, like you
You just
offered, like
go
you
ahead.
offered the one guy to kill, or like you offered the younger guy, like in the group.
Oh, yeah.
Um, they like tasked. He was like, you can join like our group if you like defend, like you kill another person. But I don't know why. I just don't. It just seems dumb. Community is so important.
Yeah. And what happened to the pregnant woman? I kept wondering if she was going to show back up at the end or anything.
I don't know. And that whole group wasn't like the warmest. Like they were really didn't really seem like
Oh,
a.
because Spike tried to say, "Take me with you," and she's all playing the
I
part,
don't.
and then she goes for him. I'm like, wait a minute. He's a
Mm-hmm.
kid. I mean, I can understand because she's like, hey, you're part of this group, and I need
Yeah, but
to
he was
survive.
behave. Yeah, but at the
But
same time, though, he was
yeah,
behaving so like he wasn't even inside the barn for any of it.
right.
Like
I
that
know.
right there to me is another. I still probably wouldn't trust him. I could be like, yeah, you can come
Yeah,
with me, but you gotta go in front of me, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't want to be out there alone.
yeah. No. Ooh, man. All right. And speaking about Spike and some of the other characters, I want to talk a little bit about the characters and the performances here. I do want to start right off with saying the character that really stayed with me was Samson. I had mentioned that earlier, especially his connection with Dr. Kelson and how we saw their relationship evolve. But I was also afraid because there was so much trust from Dr. Kelson that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you should let your guard down, because what if this drug, opioid, tranquilizer doesn't last as long as you think? And what happens if he goes back into his rage? But I just was so mesmerized watching these two actors play, if you will, like their relationship back and forth. I just found it incredible to watch. And so, how did that relationship land with you?
I was very worried for his safety. I just thought, just like how you said, like you don't really know how long the cocktail that you've given him is going to last. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that if it doesn't. But at the same time, I think Dr. Kelson's been alone for 30 years. And so I think maybe he's just
Yeah.
willing to like gamble with his life, because I feel like he studied the infected and he knows a lot about them. And he probably wouldn't mind going out that way. At least it'd be quick. But it also made me wonder if maybe they knew each other, like in the before times. Was he his doctor? Because he seemed to. I guess I don't know if it's like a chicken or an egg thing. Did Kelson giving him the drugs make him want to come back, or was he already kind of like being called to him? Not called to him, that sounds weird, but like maybe like he recognized him while they were out in like the woods or whatever, and he felt him being like drawn to him or something, drawn to that area. But I think it goes to show how Dr. Kelson is a very kind. He's just like a kind, good person. And in the movie, he's like he's like an atheist, but he's doing more
Yeah.
like godly work than the people who
Yes.
are religious.
Exactly.
And
Yes, that's so true.
and he's also one of my favorite things about Dr. Kelson. He's just like down for whatever. He meets this like crazy guy, and this guy's, hey, can you act like the devil? And he's, say less, I'm in. And
I
actually,
know.
and he puts on like a whole show. He's so good. And I actually read or actually heard in an interview that like that the dance that he does wasn't really scripted. He just like in the moment was like moving his body in a way that just worked. Um, Dr. Kelson's he's an interesting like guy though. Yeah, I really liked Dr. Kelson, and I think him willing to put himself on the line to save humanity, because I think he was probably always trying to work on a cure, maybe because he had all
Oh,
the stuff.
I know. There are so many things that you said. I have to remember everything that you said because I want to comment on each thing. The part where you said Samson kept coming back, I thought about this too. I thought, wow, what is making Samson come back? Is it that this man, this person, this human being trusts me? Is it that he's reacting to me differently than other people react? Other people have fear. This man does not have fear when he is in front of me. Is it that he treats him with a dignity, like he's a person, like Dr. Kelson treats Samson like this, which is what made me afraid. But at the same time, he's reaching him somehow. And is Samson coming back because of that? Is it because of this drug that he has that it makes him feel a certain way? It could be all of those things tied together, which has me thinking. And that's what makes me love this movie, because it really fills you with all these thoughts on humanity and what it's like to have connection and just trust among another human being. And I also love Dr. Kelson, as you said, putting on that act. And just, it was, I wanted to get up and cheer when he was doing it. It was the coolest thing. I want to say Ralph Fiennes is an incredible actor. He's done incredible work and I've loved him in so much. But this, I'm like, man, you are shining. Like, you are able to be playful. You're able to be intelligent. You're able to be curious. You're not afraid. Then you get to be this chilling, evil Satan. It was just, I thought, how fun for you to have this role and to do all those things. It was just a lot of fun. And I do want to say to Samson, the actor that plays Samson is Chi Lewis Perry, and he is incredible. He you are afraid, and he plays these moments where you're afraid of him. But there's the moments when he's out in the water and he's looking at his hand. Wow. That was like, I was drawn in. I was like, oh my gosh. And then when Dr. Kelson's about to give him the lethal dose and it says, oh, I wish I had your permission for this. And then he says the word moon and he immediately stops. I'm like, oh my gosh, this connection is so special. And so how great Dr. Kelson must have felt knowing that what he thought in his medical knowledge and things that he knew worked, that he knew how to, I don't even know the right words, like how to treat this infection, and his thought and his work that went into it all these years. It's just incredible. I just thought that was just a fun thing.
I just hope he wrote down like exactly what he had given to Samson so they could get like blow darts and just like dart everybody.
I'm trying to think too. Okay, so he gave him the opioids and then he gave him something for the psychosis, is what he did. Yeah, you're right. Did he write it down somewhere? I hope he did.
But
Go
like
ahead.
I think he was though, because he was like he was like scribbling into
He must have.
like
He's
a
a
notebook. So
doctor.
he's a doctor. I hope so for the sake of the movie. Can you imagine if I'm cured, but now I'm the only one?
Yeah.
I also think with the cure though, like maybe giving the cocktail of whatever like drugs Kelson had come up with will cure the already infected, and the baby will cure the uninfected, or will give them like immunity from an infected body. So she's got to have something in there,
Right, right,
right?
right.
That's how
Yeah.
it always works in movies. That's how it worked
Yeah.
in the like The Last of Us. But on to Jimmy though. Jimmy's a monster. Like he is terrible. And I didn't think Jack O'Connell is phenomenal as Jimmy. I don't think anyone else could play him. I just want to watch that man do everything. And I think I was so like charmed by Jack O'Connell that I kind of forgot
Yes,
he was like a bad guy.
me
I like
too.
that's also probably why it was like a double shock. Cause I'm like, but Jimmy would never do that. And I'm in the cult already. It
Seeing what
makes
that smooth, charismatic thing does to people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am like it makes me like it's like a sad like thing though because he was innocent at one point
Ah,
and he comes from like the religious like part of the world and just it's all twisted for him which is just so sad. Um he's probably got some sort of undiagnosed like psychosis or just because he's hearing voices in his head, but that also could just be his like inner like monologue. But he does manipulate everyone around him. And if you notice, he's always like the cleanest of the group. He never fights. When they're in like the woods camping out, he has like a tent and a bed. The rest are on like rocks. It's just not a good, he's not a good person. He's also just like a really bad leader but he like pretends to be like strong and stuff and he's just not. It's more like the he's more like his namesake than anything.
yeah. I love Jack O'Connell too. I already, okay, Sinners. He was already such an interesting character in there. Then you have him here in this 28 years later franchise, and he's so, I don't even know the word, but you can't help but see the layers in him because he's not just evil. I think it's easier to play just an evil, bad person.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something in him. You know he's wrong, you know he's evil, but then you're like, oh, that little bit of a kid that was in you, that little bit of something you can see, but then it quickly dissipates because
Mm-hmm.
he is, it's almost as if he was a child and he was exposed to all this stuff and he never grew up. Like he
Mm-hmm.
never developed, he never evolved, he never got any of that. It's like he, as a child, he just gets what he wants. He uses people as props and there's no consequences. He just wants what he wants. And that's how he gets people to do. Like you said, he was the comfortable one and he doesn't get his hands dirty because he's able to manipulate everybody and control them and make them do all the dirty work and he just gets to do what Jimmy gets to do. It was such a great performance by so many of the actors in here. And I think that's why the movie works. I think it's because
Mm-hmm.
it's written well, it's directed well, and
Mm-hmm.
all the performances are just well done.
I liked in the costuming for Jack O'Connell, like his like every finger had the rings and they were like bling rings. Like every ring had
Yeah.
a diamond on it or something huge. And he is very like immature. Like he's very like he almost throws like hissy fits if he doesn't get his way. And it's like the religious part of his upbringing because it's interrupted is like it stunted him almost.
Yeah.
And it's just like a shame because if he would just, he's way too far gone now. But I feel like if he would have just let other people in, he could have had his own little family.
Yeah. We had talked a little bit about it being comical, and that is where Jack O'Connell comes in because he is the one who is funny, not haha jokey funny. It's just his way, his over the top and
He wins
the
his crown.
yeah, that. I was going to say that and also his outfit, the fact that's their attire. So, it's just
That's a nod to Jimmy Savile or
yes.
Savile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
Oh, in the other film. Yes.
I forgot. Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, we had talked about it, the Teletubbies influence and all of that, but it just adds to
To
this
hear him like talk
humorous.
about it,
I
he like
can't even
talks
remember
about
now. What did he say?
it's like he's talking to adults about a child thing, but he's talking with like big words. He's using like I think he calls them like the teletums or something, and it's
Uh-huh.
just kind of like a funny thing because it's I don't know. And then he goes and like peels the chest off, so like it's that whole thing is just messed up. Ugh.
And I totally appreciate that Spike stayed true to who Spike is and was not influenced by Jimmy at all,
Mm-hmm.
but found ways to figure out how to get away from the actions like in the barn and so forth and just everything poor Spike was doing to survive. I still wonder, and I talked about it when we covered the first movie, where is his dad? His dad has
Yeah.
got to be looking for him. But they did say, the director did say that this wasn't about him. It was about Spike
Hmm.
surviving on his own. And they didn't want, like, oh, dad to come help you and protect you. It's like, how do you survive in
Hmm.
this world on your own? And so we did see Spike do that.
But he
And
gets
I
like,
do.
but he gets like in over his head like real quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And thankfully for Jimmy Inc., who you had talked about, Erin Kellerman, who reveals her name to be Kelly. Thank goodness for her. She
Mm,
was there.
I agree.
So in this movie, we see humans and the infected. And Nia DaCosta, the director, said the first film was about the nature of family. Bone Temple is about the nature of evil. And the next one will explore redemption. So, did you see that theme coming through or feel it in the story?
I guess without even really realizing it, I think, because that as we were like driving home, my husband and I were talking about the movie, and I we were talking about how like so Spike's like first like kill, quote unquote kill, is like an accident. He's just like defending himself. And how I think evil in this movie originates more from like the small choices and compromises that we make. At first, that it was he was just defending himself, but he did kill him. And so I think people, without even really realizing it, will bend their morals like just to survive, and you rationalize it as necessary or harmless. But over time, like those things will accumulate, and before you realize it, you're numb to certain things. And I thought, um, and also looking at how the Jimmies are, it was a real, I think, contrast between Spike's community and people in like the quarantine zone. It like really stood out to me because the movie, I think, is showing also how isolation can twist people over time, even
Yeah.
if you've started out innocently. Because I think if you look at the people who were living in the quarantine zone as a like a family or as like a group, they don't hesitate in leaving. His name was Jono. They like she grabs that kid and they like hightail it out of there. And I feel like that's also just like over time, like a compromise of you trying to survive, and that's evil because like it was just one. So I think even like ordinary, like well-meaning people can be cruel without really realizing it. And I do think the infected are violent and evil, quote unquote, but they're not cruel. Like they'll kill anyone they can, but they'll pretty much do it quickly. It'll be violently, but it'll be
Yeah.
quickly. And like I said earlier, like the Jimmies tortured three people for nothing, just for charity because like their leader asked them to. And I always say it would have been just better for everyone if they just joined together because community is everything. You see how
Yes.
like the people were with the Jimmies because they had to be, not because they wanted to be.
Right.
And they're living out on the street, like or in the woods. And if you were in like a little house, I don't know, it's just like a nice contrast, I think.
So I feel like the movie makes you think, like you said, the infected are the evil, but really it is the humans. I think that's what slowly revealed throughout this whole movie. When you were talking, it made me think in the very beginning when they first tried to test Spike and he's up against that one guy and the guy, he stabs the guy in the leg and he's bleeding out all over the place and no one does anything to help him. I'm thinking, what kind of a community is this with the people that you're with aren't even going to help you?
Mm-hmm.
It's all for yourself. That's it, you.
Mm-hmm.
And no one cared about the other person. And
Mm-mm.
so now, is it because they didn't, or is it because Jimmy told people, look, if something happens to somebody, you just got to let them fend for themselves? I do think that there is some sort of manipulation going on stemming from Jimmy and how he treats people. Yeah, it's just so distinct here that we see it. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's more fearful of getting caught up by this group, the Jimmies. And yeah, it was just an interesting watch. And I had mentioned earlier about how much care Dr. Kelson gave Samson and how you see what a stark difference that is and how much that trust, care, and respect, how it reaches places that violence can't. And maybe if Jimmy had that initially, he would be a different person now. Like,
Hmm.
he probably just had to fight to survive. And he thought, this is what I need to do to keep living. This is the only way I know how. And this is how I'm going to keep doing it. And so with Evil, we see that idea really carries straight into the ending. But with saying that, I do have a question for you. It's a side note.
Hmm.
With Samson, and as we see him on the bus, the train, he's thinking back about his time when he was a kid, and they show him when he was younger and then a little bit older, and it looks like right before this happened. And it was interesting to see him, and as he's looking at the people on the train, they all turn to be infected. And so my mind was one. I have two different questions for you. One is, was that really happening? Was that his memory? Oh my gosh, I'm on the train. Look at people are turning into the infected. And or we saw him have a glimpse of somebody that was a normal human being, but he saw them as trying to attack him, and he attacked them. Like he was going to get to them before they got to him. So then I started thinking, was that really a memory? Or was it the infected that were on the bus, and it went from a memory to the actual people that were on the bus trying to attack him in current time? Because all of a sudden they're all turning on him, and I'm assuming it's because he doesn't smell like an infected person anymore. So there's all these things that I want answers to, and I want to know. I don't know, what was your thought about that whole scene?
I was terrified that he was going to be reinfected. I thought it was like that scene was just great. I thought it was like it was a beautiful shot. I thought it was like a nice like a flashback to see cute little kid looking at the moon, which was a nice callback to his first words and everything. But it was a nice like a subtle way to confirm that he's no longer infected.
Yeah.
It's I shouldn't say it's not like a subtle thing. Like he gets attacked, so it's like in your face, but it's like it makes you wonder, oh, why is that happening?
Yes.
Because up until that point he'd been like walking like they were like ignoring him up until that point. I do hope it maybe it was how he had gotten infected in the first place. Like maybe I don't know.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah, it was such
Uh,
a good flashback. And is it insight into how it started for him and what he was seeing? I really want to know. I really want to get a behind the scenes into what the director was thinking when she was directing that, or the script itself, to see what it had to say exactly. I'm so curious. And what I
mhm.
love is that's how good that moment was, because it's making us think and feel and wonder about it all. And it's funny that you said you were afraid that he might get reinfected, because my husband said the same thing, because I brought up the
Mhm.
scene to my husband too. He said the same thing. He's all, man, I was afraid he was going to get reinfected. And I'm like, but doesn't he still have some infection? Because he's still massive and strong. He was able to take all those infected and throw them all over the place. So,
But does the infection make you stronger, or are you just because like maybe he's just a really strong guy? But I wondered the same thing though, and that was maybe a hint for me that he was still infected because he was just
yeah,
like
yeah.
he
I
was
feel like he's
chucking
got
people.
both. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's an interesting way to cure somebody because it's like a rage virus, so it just makes your rage drive like way worse. So it's interesting that you can treat it with like anti-anxiety meds and here's a mood stabilizer and a couple other things.
And like I had brought up, that we saw him have a vision of a person that was normal, but it looked like to him that they were trying to attack him. So that
Mm-hmm.
was some insight to what they are seeing too, which
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Like when
That
they
will
give you these pieces.
the guy in the beginning of the movie, like entirely the guy that he gets his head like ripped out or whatever, he
Yeah.
looks just like Samson. And it's is that his brain making the guy look more like him, or
Yeah.
I don't know why someone looking more like you would make you angrier, but I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
weird virus, so.
Ooh, this movie. Okay, let's move into the ending. So we see that Dr. Kelson recognizes Spike, which is so
Hmm.
cool because I'm like, when is that going to happen? He recognizes Spike, turns the tables. I'm not going to let you do this to this kid. I don't care about myself anymore. I'm going to protect him. And he gets, doesn't Jimmy slash him or something? I can't even remember now.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah,
Hmm.
but not before he says, oh, being my son, you have to be crucified. And so that puts that in motion for them. I love that. What a great writing, Alex Garland, for writing that's just, it was so good. That was so good. Did you have any thoughts on that ending?
Oh yeah, I thought it was really cool. I think because just it's like it's the whole scene. It's they're all drugged. Like he blows some stuff in their face, so they're all drugged out a little bit, and they're all like playing along and dancing, and that was really fun. And like I was waiting for Kelson to recognize him, but I wish he would have done it in a better way because then maybe he wouldn't have gotten killed. And I don't want him to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think he's so quick with my son, you should be in my, well, like spouting off the religious stuff. But in the beginning, when Jimmy's talking about how his dad was in the church and
Mm.
he was only saved because he went to the church, whenever we're introduced to his dad or like to like that like whole scene, there's a shadow of the cross, so it's upside down. So it's fitting
Mm. Yeah.
that then he's like upside down and he's whatever drugs he was given are working just enough so he sees horns on Samson, which that also could just be like a different kind of psychosis because he's imagining like the devil. And like the why have you forsaken me, my father is I think what he says. And that can have like multiple meanings. Is he talking
Mm.
to old Nick? Is he talking to his dad from 28 years ago? Is he talking to God? Like who's he talking to?
Yeah.
And did so Samson killed him, correct? We're assuming.
I'm not 100% sure.
Me
I don't
either. I
know.
hope he did. Because I feel like if I found out that the guy who like cured me was killed by or got stabbed by that guy, I'd let my rage out a little bit. One last time.
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I do hope that and I think yeah, I don't know. It took him like long enough to recognize Spiky. I was waiting for that to happen. I thought it happened
Yeah.
like a lot earlier, but Dr. Kelson, man, what a fantastic just like a character.
Yeah.
Because he is, you immediately, you like, he's weird, but you like
He is
immediately, you
weird.
like him.
He
Yeah.
is
His,
weird. And I like that because you're like, wait a minute. Can you be? Because I didn't know if we could trust him. I was like, I don't
mm-mm.
know. You're a little bizarre. But then he ends up, no, he's a good bizarre.
I thought, oh, is he going to try and make like all of their skulls
Yeah.
untenable? A table out of the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked how, I want to say it was Samson. I don't think it was Dr. Kelson. He brings like a stag head and that's like up on
Oh,
like the top of the thing.
yes. Yeah.
My husband, he said it was cute, like watching Dr. Kelson and Samson do their thing. He said it was cute how they were just like hanging out, like getting to know each other.
They were those
I,
moments. They were
but
so good.
they were so sweet, but I like didn't
Yeah.
allow myself to relax. I was like,
I know.
no, because Samson's gonna come out of the woods and Kelson's gonna have to dart him again or something. So I'm like, that's a very nice scene, but can we come on? It's got
Yes.
to get over so I can relax.
Exactly. I know when he fell asleep next to
Oh,
him
sir.
and he didn't wake up and he's all, am
Yeah,
I
he's like checking
okay?
himself.
Yeah, that's, oh my gosh, what happened? Well, that was a test for sure. And how do you sleep? Come on. How do you sleep knowing that there's
Well,
rage
he took
infested
drugs.
people?
He put the drugs like in his
Oh,
gums or
on
whatever.
himself? Oh, okay.
But
All
that's like
right. I
stupid.
know.
Ooh. But I think maybe after 28 years alone, he's just like a death wish. I've had enough.
Yeah. And I appreciate at least if he did have to go, he knows what he accomplished. He
Yep.
knows that he did it. He knows he saved Spike and he also knows that he achieved what he wanted to achieve and oh, so such a cool story arc for Dr. Kelson.
So Kelly is the reason that they even found Dr. Kelson. And when she's
Yes.
going about to find their next whatever, she runs into Jono and she has to kill him. And she does it like in the not the coolest way, but without even she just and then does like a tuck. She just does like a somersault, which is really cool. But I wonder if he was heading like back to the farm because he was kind of like heading like that way as like infected.
Oh, yes. You're right.
Because like she wasn't like very far out. I
No, she
mean,
wasn't. Yeah.
mm-mm. So I wonder if it is like they
If they
do
have
kind of
some
go,
memory or something of what's happening or
yeah.
where to go or they were heading that direction. So yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, it could
And
be.
like I kind of wonder if the more like under you are, maybe like the less that stuff, but like maybe you don't recognize it as much.
They're still alive, right? They just are
Yeah.
infected. So, hmm,
And they do eat, I guess, because like we do in the first of this trilogy, they eat a deer.
yeah,
Um, which they still pull. I don't know. I still don't get the pulling the heads off, but that's just me.
I know. After all this happens, we do see this scene with Jim and his daughter. And I have to say, it went out of my head that we were even going to see Jim. I knew it, we talked about it, but when I was sitting in the theater, nope. So I was so pleasantly surprised. I sat up and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. All right. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was such a cool way to end the movie to see them and for the daughter to say, are we going to help them? And you're like waiting for his answer. And he says, yeah, we're going to help them.
Of course.
And that house was the house that he was in from his original movie. I thought that was, but that's interesting in itself. It's like you stayed in this house. Couldn't you have found a boat off this island and gone somewhere else?
If you'd have been allowed to leave, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what's cool too about the whole theme of evil here, we know that he hasn't turned evil with what he
Mm-mm.
says. He's still he's still the Jim that I think we think he is. We'll learn more with the next one, but I thought that was pretty cool. So what was your reaction to seeing Jim?
I was excited. I I knew that we were going to see it, and I like forgot about it. But then as soon as we like opened up to like a peaceful scene, I was like, Jim's coming. I was waiting for him to come onto screen, and I thought it was a very nice way to bring him in. Didn't really feel forced.
Yeah.
But there's no Serena though. But they have
I
a
hope she's
daughter.
yeah, I just hope she's out. Either it's yeah, he's taking care of her or she's out hunting or something.
Yeah, I hope so too. But I thought it was just like a because like it's been 28 years, so she's presumably what 15 or something. Um, but it's just nice because like they've got like a well-established like home. It's very cozy. I thought it was like a funny thing that they were going over stuff that led to World War II, considering he's Oppenheimer. Thought that was funny. But I'm excited, and I really do. I do love that his answer is like, of course we're going to help them, because
Yeah.
that's he was always the one in the like in the first movie to be like, no, we have to help people, and like Serena was like, no, if it's going to save me, I will kill you in no time flat. So it just hit me that I am actually her name is Selena, not Serena. I don't know where I got that from. But I do hope that we get to see her at some point, or she went out in a badass way because she was a
Yeah.
badass. I
She
liked her.
was. I know. Me
Um,
too. I'd love to get your franchise reflection. I want to say that this horror movie makes you really think. And that's exactly why I love it so much. And there's so much to unpack, so many layers, and it stays with you long after the credits roll. So I want to know what your thought is on the franchise, what you're hoping to see. I'm pretty sure we're getting our third one. I think it might have been greenlit. I don't know. What are you hoping for?
I hope we get the third one. No,
Me too.
yeah, I really enjoy like the franchise as a whole. Really enjoyed the movies a ton. And I just really want to see like where it ends and where it's gonna go. Can the cure be replicated? We're assuming that Dr. Kelson died before he told anyone. Earlier, he's a doctor, so maybe he wrote it down. Or maybe Samson can help a little bit with maybe he's like, oh no, he told me it was this or whatever. I also think the baby can be used to help to create a cure. And then my biggest question is Spike's dad looking for him? Because as a community, they're not allowed to leave. They're not allowed to send out like a search party. And I feel like you can't cast Aaron Taylor Johnson as just a one-off. But then again, we got Jim instead, so maybe it'll be all right. I don't know. I'm just curious to see like where we're headed. Because she said, what, the third movie is about redemption? So maybe it'll be Aaron Taylor Johnson's character. Because he's like a jerk to his son. Or doing jerk things to around his son. Maybe he'll redeem himself in some way.
I want to see more of Samson. I want to know how he impacts this ending. I thought, OMG, the baby, he's going to want his child. So then it made me
Is that
think,
his kid?
I think so. I think it is. Maybe it's not.
Oh, I don't know.
Because that woman, like he was, after she had her, he was affected by her, by seeing her or something. Yeah. So it made me feel like that was his baby.
Oh, and he's going to want his,
yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, but if he's not really, I don't know where his headspace is, what his demeanor is going to be like. So where is he going to be? And I'm assuming he's going to want his baby. So that puts a whole nother layer onto everything. And yeah, what happens with Spike? Does his dad come back? What happens with Jim? Redemption for what? Will it be, Selena or anybody else? I don't know. There's so much to look forward to, but like I said, I just love these movies. I think they're great. Any movies, especially a horror that can make you think, just like Sinners made us think. That's why they're really good films, because it's just not just like The Walking Dead. They're not just horror to be horror. There are characters and stories and themes that touch us all, unite us all. And so I just love it. So I cannot wait. Friends out there, what do you think about this movie? Let us know in the comments. You can leave it here, or you can go over to our website at screensinfocus.com, get to our social media and leave it there, or you can call us at 669-223-8542. Ooh, I got our phone number right. 669-223-8542, because we would love to hear your voice and for you to let us know what you thought. We do have some TV and movie recommendations for you. Sam, what are you watching?
I'm watching It's Tell Me Lies on Hulu, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is on HBO, The Pit, which is on HBO, and I'm also watching Task, which is on HBO. And my favorite out of all the TV, out of all those, I don't know. Tell Me Lies is very, I don't even know. I don't trust any men named Steven anymore, I don't think. And then The Pit. So The Pit is filmed here in Pittsburgh, and it's Allegheny. Like, I drive by it all the time. And it's doing such wonderful things. Like, their little a tribute to the Tree of Life that happened back in 2018. So I lived in Squirrel Hill, like a few blocks away from it. It was the worst thing ever. And so it was really nice to hear them talk about it. And they brought up how the Muslims in Pittsburgh, I'm crying. Oh, how the Muslims in Pittsburgh like helped everyone like in the synagogue, and they didn't get like enough credit for that. That's not why they did it, but they deserve a little more credit than they're given, I think. And so it was such like a wonderful thing for them to bring up. Like that whole scene is such like an important, it's just a really good scene, but it's just really wonderful.
Yeah. A tribute, I guess.
We almost made the whole episode without one of us crying.
Okay, so just so you know, we did Stranger Things, and we were emotional there. And I said at the top of this before I pressed record, oh, we're not going to cry on this one. It's a horror. And here we are. All right.
I cannot wait to see where they take all of those cases and stuff. And then the movies I've watched, so it's a documentary called It's Kidnapped, Elizabeth Smart. I really knew nothing about Elizabeth Smart. Like I knew she was not really, because I'm her age.
I know.
So it's like
right.
I grew up with it, and
yeah,
it doesn't get talked. It gets talked a lot, like in the true crime like areas, but I really didn't know a ton about. Like I thought she was kidnapped for way longer than she was. So Like, I learned a ton. And then I've been watching, it's Greenland on HBO.
Gerard
It's
Butler?
yeah,
Yeah.
and Morena Baccarin. I
Uh-huh.
think it's like a apocalyptic, like
Yeah.
an asteroid's hitting the earth, and then Elevation,
I
which
like
is
that
with
one. Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, and
Yeah.
also Morena. She's in that one too, and that one was really good. Had a little bit of the like apocalyptic movies as of
Yeah. Oh, I love all those, and I'm watching some of those too. Okay, I'm just going to run down these and I recommend them. So, His and Hers on Netflix, John Bernthal.
so
And
good.
yeah, it's Tessa Thompson. It's really good. Six episodes, I believe. I just watched The Beast in Me. I know I'm a couple months behind. That was so good. I was so glad that I tuned in and watched it. So check that out. Hijack season 2 on Apple TV Plus. Wasn't sure at first, but man, it locked in at the very end. So I'm excited. The Pit, you just explained why it's so good. It is so good. And what's funny is I just saw a clip of ER. It was what, 30 plus years ago, and it has Noah Wiley and he's so damn young. I'm like, oh my gosh. I watched it back then and I've forgotten because I grew up with them. And so it was so funny to see him that young. It's
Mm-hmm.
whoa, you are so young. All right. I have continued to watch Cold Water on Paramount Plus. I was not a fan the very first episode because I could not take seeing Andrew Lincoln playing such a wuss. I'm like, no, don't do it. I can't take it. But it's an odd series, creepy neighbors. And the third episode, I'm like, ooh, okay. Now it's turning into something else. So I'm watching it. And then tell me lies. Can everybody just sleep with everybody else? Is there anybody
Oh,
else people can sleep with? Because if you're not sleeping with that boyfriend and that boyfriend's not sleeping with that girlfriend, or you're not sleeping with your teacher, or you're not sleeping with your friend back that you knew whenever, then I don't know who you're sleeping with because
mm-hmm.
everybody's sleeping with everybody. But I love
And
it. I can't stop
everyone's just
watching
kind
it.
of awful too.
Yes, exactly.
They're
They're all
like,
awful. Except for I
yeah,
like certain people. I like Pippa. Yeah.
Pippa's and Pippa and maybe Diana were the only non. Bree's not bad. I don't know. We can talk about this all day,
Yeah, I
probably.
know exactly. But anyway,
Me
and
Lies
for
podcast.
yes, yes. And for movies, I watch People We Meet on Vacation. If you need a
Oh,
rom-com, check it out. It is so cute and I really enjoyed it. The Rip on Netflix with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Stephen Yun and Tiana Taylor's in there too. Other
hmm.
people. There's so many good people in that. So check that out. It's very good. I did watch the Stranger Things documentary, both the on the play and on the making of Stranger Things season 5. And I prefer the one on the show more than the play because I don't know the play. So it's hard when I was watching it to really follow along because I haven't seen
Hmm.
it yet because it's not here. But I still found it interesting. And then I watched Last Breath on Prime, which is a true story with Woody Harrelson. And it's only
Oh.
90 minutes and it's a good watch. So
Is that where the guy's like trying to do something on the bottom of the ocean?
yes, yes, true
There's a
story.
bunch of good people in
Yeah,
that too.
yeah, it is.
Bunch of
So
good men.
yeah, so check those out. Check out my TikTok and YouTube for more reviews and recommendations. And I want to say thank you to Sam for joining me as usual. I love it when you're here. So thank you, Sam.
Thank you for having me as always.
Anytime. I can't wait for our next one. We're going to be doing Bridgerton season, what is it? Season 4?
Four, part
4.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
so part one comes out Thursday.
Oh
Part
my
two comes
God.
out end of Feb. I know, I'm rewatching them all to catch
Gear
up.
up.
Yeah. Oh,
It's fun.
unrelated. We went into Bath and Body Works very recently, and last year, or the last time they did the Bridgerton, they had done
Oh,
like a candle series.
uh-huh.
They didn't have any out, but I checked every single like flowers. Is this Bridgerton? Is that Bridgerton? And none of them are Bridgerton. I was very upset. I probably annoyed all the
Oh.
people in the store. But all she's doing is smelling all the candles.
So funny. I'm sure they should have something. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Meh.
Oh, one more thing. I am rewatching Breaking Bad. Looks so dated. I
Oh,
can't believe it. I'm like,
oh.
what? This looks so 2008 or whenever it was. My husband has not seen it. I am introducing him to it, and there I forgot how many funny moments there are in that. Have you seen it, Sam?
No, it's on my list of
Oh
things to watch
my
after I watch
God.
The Wire, after I watch whatever else.
Go
But
watch it
it's on
now.
my, I think it's like
Yeah.
number, so there's, I can't remember if I'm on The Wire, I'm on season 2, that I wanted to watch maybe Outlander, because I've never seen that.
Ah, yeah.
But there was something else that was
That's
more
good
like
too.
I hear like wonderful things. I tried watching it, but I think I just have to designate 1 hour a week to watch it, and then I'll.
Yeah. Very
But
good. I love
The
all
Wire
these.
is also real dated too. Like The Wire, The Sopranos, like all of them. Even Tell Me Lies and like the fashion and the phones. Like everyone had a
Yeah.
BlackBerry.
But there is still a difference when you're watching a movie that's set in a different time.
Oh heck yeah!
That feels different. But when it really was in that time, there's just a different feel and look to
It
everything.
looks
It,
old.
it cracks me up. But I still like it. I love the conversations and everything. So, anyway, for anyone who hasn't seen Breaking Bad, just you should check it out. All right. That's it. Thank you, friends, for joining us. We hope we said something that sparked something. Again, leave it in a comment, or maybe we gave you a TV or movie recommendation. If you have something to recommend to us, let us know. But we are so happy that you joined us. And please subscribe to Screens in Focus at screensinfocus.com. And we would love it if you would recommend this podcast to a friend. And keep watching, keep exploring, and keep those screens in focus. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.